Hey, everybody, it's day 7, and I'm going to just quickly take you through a feedback loop again. Very similar to the last couple of days. The days in front of us will be very similar to this one. So, Kitchen Mr. Surface coming at you. This is what your form looks like. You put your name there, Mr. Surface. We're showcasing our best nonverbal behaviors this week to show for learning readiness. Well, he talked about showcase yesterday. Learning readiness, that's something I could use a little more info about. Today's standard. Which parts of the standard below could use some help unpacking? Check all that apply. And here's the standard. Cite several pieces of textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences, conclusions, and/or generalizations. Wow, the word cite I haven't heard before. Textual I could use some help with. I know what evidence is. I know what support is. I'm still unclear on analysis. Explicitly, forget it. Inferences, forget it. Conclusions, forget it. Generalizations, forget it. Going to need a lot of help with today's objective, possibly, right? So now I got to put that objective right there in my own words. And the way I do that is I click on Vocaroo.com. Now, if it seems like I'm going too fast, if you use the arrows at the bottom of your keyboard, you can toggle in the YouTube video 5 seconds back or 5 seconds forward. That's what I've been saying, Miles. All right, so I would suggest, I would suggest going back between this video and the objective. So all you got to do is click this. It starts recording, and then you look at the objective. I suggest reading it out loud. Cite several pieces of textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences, conclusions, and/or generalizations drawn from the text. Well, I know evidence, and I know trying to support something you say. Like if I say, if I were to accuse someone of stealing from a store that I own, right? I would have to provide evidence, like from the camera, and say, here's where they took my white chocolate Kit Kat or whatever it is, right? So that is the only part of this objective that I understand, is what a student could say. Then you would go right back to Vocaroo.com, you'd stop it, you'd click on Save and Share. You'd go over here and click on the Make a Link. Then you go back to the form, go to the bottom of that question, you hold the Control button and press V at the same time, and it puts it right in there. Here's a question, and you can see that supports is highlighted right there. So, while not having read today's story, this future test question can tell you a lot about how to think about today's learning objective for future thinking. Check all the words or phrases that seem important or relevant. Well, part A asks, in 2 kinds, some mother arranges for the daughter to have piano lessons. The daughter gives the following response. Why don't you like me the way I am? I'm not a genius. Based on this quotation, choose what the daughter most likely believes. A, if her mother wants to develop talent, then her mother must not value her as she is. If her mother wants to develop her talent, then her mother must realize that she's not a genius. Because she's not a genius, she does not deserve her mother's efforts to improve her. Because she's not a genius, she must work harder than other people to do to succeed. Which additional quotation from 2 kinds best supports the answer to part A? So whatever you choose up here should be followed up by a quote from the story down here. In all my imaginings, I was filled with the sense that I would soon become perfect. It was as if I knew without a doubt that the prodigy side of me really did exist, and I had no fear whatsoever, no nervousness. I felt the shame of my mother and father as they sat stiffly through the rest of the show, and you want me to be someone that I'm not, I sobbed. I'll never be the kind of daughter you want me to be, right? Obviously, you won't go that fast, but you'll take a little bit of time. You'll go, oh, okay, well, I think responses between characters will probably be good evidence to think about. Feeling shame will tell us a lot about the characters. What they believe seems to be important. Finding additional quotations. Finally, you're going to look at a smaller part of the whole story today on Kami. We've been opening them up in class. If you're still having trouble with that, just let me know. But usually you would start. I'm going to start mine at 7:57, and I'll probably be done my Kami right around 8:10. So if you want to take the time to enter that time later on, it turned out it ended up being 8:16 because I visited my future self. Then you click Next. And then section 2, you complete after class. You don't do this till after class. You wait to do this until after class is over. After you have class with Mr. Surface, then you do section 2. You don't do it now. Don't do it now. Don't do section 2 now. Wait till after class. And I repeat that because it's worth repeating because people keep making the same mistake. All right. I'll put out a section 2 after class. All right. So, or right during or immediately before class. So please just make sure that you don't do section 2 now. Thanks for watching.